Well, some of the biggest names in Formula One have also been paying tribute this morning. The principal of Red Bull Racing, Christian Horner, said he's very sorry to hear that Eddie Jordan has sadly passed. Eddie was a hugely colourful character who I first met in 1991 as a young driver at his then new factory after his first year in Formula One. Formula One has lost a legend and we will miss his wit and his Irish charm. On behalf of Oracle Red Bull Racing, we send our sincere condolences to Marie and the children at this sad time. Our thoughts are with them. Ralf Schumacher used to race for Eddie Jordan's team. He paid tribute to his former boss on Instagram, writing, "We had a great time in Cape Town. Your love for music and the many live performances are unforgettable. I can hardly believe that you've lost the battle against the disease. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to start my F1 career in your team. I will always be grateful to you for that. I wish the whole family a lot of strength in these hours. I already miss you, my dear friend. Rest in peace." And the former BBC Formula One host Jake Humphrey has also posted a tribute on X, saying, "Utterly devastated. EJ has left us. Formula One won't see the likes of Eddie ever again, where a guy with a love for racing can hustle his way into sport and end up winning races. I love you, brother. One of the three amigos is gone. The world seems a little less bright this morning." Well, let's talk now to the former F1 driver, John Watson. John, lovely to talk to you today, but not in these circumstances, clearly. Tell us your memories of Eddie, when you first met him and what he meant to you.
Well, good morning, Jane. I met Eddie way back in the days, probably in the 70s or early 80s, when Eddie was running his own race team and bringing young drivers from the junior formulas and sending them on and eventually to get into Formula One. But eventually, when Eddie had his own Formula One team, he put it together at the back end of 1990. The Jordan 191, as the car was christened, went on to be one of the iconic cars of the 1991 season. The car was spectacular. It looked great. It drove brilliantly. It was the car that Michael Schumacher was given his Formula One debut in the Belgian Grand Prix in September that year. And really, from that point onwards, and I think all the tributes that have just been coming in, I've been listening to them, and some of them are just outstanding. So many people have got fantastic and fond memories of Eddie as a person, as a team owner, as a competitor, a very tough competitor, took no prisoners, make no mistake, and that's only on the golf course. And it's just, I think the whole Formula One and motor racing family have been deeply touched by this sad announcement today, an announcement which came from the Jordan family and Marie Jordan, Eddie's wife. I can only imagine how they are feeling now, and the entire Jordan family will be down in Cape Town to be with Eddie in these coming days.
John, I'm just going to get you to stay there if you don't mind, because we're also able to talk to another Formula F1 driver and team owner, Sir Jackie Stewart. Jackie, lovely to talk to you as well today. Tell us how you're feeling.
Oh, good morning. Obviously a shock. Eddie was the type of person who would never die. He was a real character in Formula One, in my opinion. He, of course, had a lot to do with bringing new drivers in, particularly that of Schumacher. I was in Spa when he brought Schumacher in for the first time. In fact, spent some hours with him on an aeroplane thereafter. Eddie was a great people maker. And quite a dandy in so many different ways. But it really goes to say that we all have to go sooner or later, and I'm sad that he's going. I didn't realise he spent as much time in South Africa. Monte Carlo, for me, in his recent years, was where I seen him most and spent time with him. So I definitely send to the family our deepest sympathies. That's to say, my son Paul, who was racing with me at that time in Stewart Grand Prix with Eddie as a competitor. So we'll have many happy memories about him. I think that's the nicest way to look at it. And very sad that he's passed away.
Jackie, just get you to hang on there, and we'll go back to John just to talk a bit more about that. John, Jackie mentioned the new drivers, bringing in Schumacher. That junior team that he had was pretty formidable, wasn't it? There's some great names came through it.
Well, I think if you look at all the drivers that became the the family household names through the sort of the late 80s into the 90s. And then, of course, Eddie's Formula One team continued that process, bringing young drivers into the team, not going out and buying at the top of the market, at that point, maybe the Ayrton Sennas or the Alain Prosts, but developing young talent. First of all, spotting that young talent, developing it, and then in turn, those drivers would be cherry-picked by some of the bigger, stronger teams. But it was a vital part of what Jordan and the Jordan team did, was recognizing that you need to feed the system. You've got to keep bringing young talent in. And ultimately, there's got to be a place for that young talent to go, which is regrettably something that's rather short at the minute.
Just as we're talking to you both, the Irish Premier, Micheál Martin, has paid tribute to him, saying he's greatly saddened to learn of the passing of Eddie Jordan. He lived life to the full, facing his final days with the same courage and tenacity he displayed through his many years as an entrepreneur, F1 pioneer and TV pundit. There were few like him. My deepest sympathies to all his family and friends. And Jackie, his sense of fun clearly comes through, but also he says an entrepreneur and a Formula One pioneer. The fact that he ran his own truly independent company, I mean, he bet everything on it, didn't he? He was all in.
Oh, he was a race maker and a driver maker. But as a character, for me, is many memories of him as there'll ever be. So I just obviously would like to send my sincere condolences to the family. We all have to do one day or another. We'll all have to go, and many of us will have the opportunity, I hope, of meeting Eddie Jordan in a different world.
Oh. And John, his sense of fun, that comes across from everybody who seems to have had any dealing with him. He was just irrepressible.
I think irrepressible is an understatement. I mean, at so many different levels. I mean, Eddie's interests, obviously motorsport, Formula One in particular, but also passionate about golf, even more passionate about music. He played the drums, and one of the things he did over many seasons at Silverstone to the British Grand Prix, post the Grand Prix, there would be a gig. And it would be a group of independent musicians. Some of them were just family friends. Others were household names. And they would put on a show in what was known as the paddock, the old paddock at Silverstone. And it was somewhere that once the Grand Prix was over, all the racing had concluded. It was just a place to go and have fun and see Eddie sitting at the back of the stage, banging the skins off the drums. And, he loved it. He loved the attention. He loved what he created. It was an alternative, if you wish, to maybe the slightly sort of po-faced Formula One sometimes does present.
Jackie, your final thoughts. How would you sum him up?
A character, an enthusiast, a man who moved amongst so many different people, and his music was a big part of that. He was a great player of music. I can only say the happy periods of Eddie, and obviously to his family, I send my deepest sympathy.
Jackie Stewart and John Watson, really great to talk to you both today, and thank you so much for sharing your memories about Eddie Jordan. Thank you both.
Thank you.